Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. May I please have roll call?
Alderman Hill,
Not here.
Alderman Frankel. Alderman Scott Childress.
Here.
Alderman Worthington. Alderman Muhammad.
Here.
Alderman Dennison. Alderman Oliveri.
Here.
Alderman Shabbat.
Here.
Alderman Hirsch.
Here.
We have a quorum. Thank you. Can I have a motion to dispense with the minutes of the previous meeting and approve same motion by Michelle Hirsch, second by Michael Oliveri. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is adopted 8-0. Can I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the general bills? Motion by Rita Worthington, second by Rennie Scott Childress. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is adopted 8-0. As council members, we get the chance to meet folks from throughout the city and from all walks of life. Throughout our service on the council, we meet community members who truly move us with their acts of kindness and their efforts to better our community. Tonight, we recognize and honor a community member who has gone above and beyond to serve and help others with the Common Council Community Award. This month, we are delighted to present Christopher Johnson with the award. I agree. He was selected by Alderman Rennie Scott Childress, so at this time, I invite Rennie and Christopher to meet at the podium.
I never know. Should we face that way or this way? What do y'all think? Yes. We'll face this way. How about that? Hello, everybody. Tonight, we honor Christopher Johnson. He is a photographer extraordinaire. He's been doing this for almost 50 years, beginning at the age of 16 and taking classes at the School of Visual Arts in New York. Christopher then became a freelance assistant, learning both the trade and the art. Most of his own work into the early 2000s was black and white fine art photography. You can see examples of this stunning work on his website, as well as some examples right here in the hall and some on the floor as well that were taken during the Into Yellow period. In 2010, he and his partner, Florence Poulin, opened Deep Tanks at his studio, which was then located in Staten Island. We'll forgive you for that. This was an underground visual arts and performance, that's a New York City joke. This was an underground visual arts and performance space. It was there that Christopher began taking portraits, focusing at first on artists and performers at Deep Tanks. In 2011, he began photographing people at Lumen, an annual international visual and performance arts event on Staten Island, New York. He discovered that many of them were too busy with their own installations to take time for a traditional portrait pose, so he began taking portraits of people who came to see the art. I wanted to focus on the artists participating in the event on location, he said, but many were too busy to pose. Out of this experience, Christopher created Lumen Archetypes. He returns every year to capture members of the audience. In 2016, for example, he photographed over 600 people in 6 hours at Lumen. He then developed his pop-up studio. He takes it to bars, basements, city parks, and mudrooms. He's photographed at block parties, weddings, birthdays, drag shows, and many other types of events. He has also photographed thousands of people here in Kingston, New York, and Ulster County. He and Florence moved here in 2016. I believe Riley John Donnell, Mr. Yellow, had something to do with it. It is this work here among us that we really celebrate here tonight. Christopher's art is a whirling mashup of patience and passion. His passion comes through in his commitment to an art that is both technically precise and visually arresting. His patience comes through in his ability to quietly yet intensively allow people to be themselves, but to direct them with one small gesture or wait one small moment to click, click, click and produce the perfect picture. In all these thousands of photographs, you get a sense of it here, In all these thousands of photographs of us, he has produced an amazing living document of the people of Kingston and Ulster County. He has made us visible to ourselves, visible as kings and queens, as loving couples, as pensive individuals, as phantasmic versions of ourselves, as groups of friends laughing into each other's deepest compassion. He likes to say of his device, it's a camera, not a magic wand, but I have to disagree. In his hands, his camera brings us to life. And certainly in my case, he makes us look better than we ever had any right to think we should. I am proud to honor Christopher Johnson tonight for making us aware of our deepest individual selves and of our wide and beautiful community. So we present you the certificate of honor, and you may do with it as you will. Would you care to say anything?
I want to thank everybody, but especially I want to thank Andrea, who pointed me in direction of Riley many years ago. And also want to thank Harambe, who also opened their arms to me, and Susan at the YMCA Kids Farm, and everyone else in Kingston. Thank you very much.
You all are welcome to stay. However, you're also welcome to leave. I can't guarantee what the rest of the show will be.
We're now entering into the public speaking portion of the meeting. We have allotted 30 minutes for this purpose. Speakers will have 3 minutes. If there are remaining speakers after 30 minutes, I will call for a motion from the council to extend the period for another 30 minutes. Speakers, direct your comments to the chair, as council members cannot engage in debate during this time. Please state your name and address on the record before you begin. For the audience in chambers and on Zoom, there could be no distractions when a speaker is addressing the council. The Common Council has also received written comments for our consideration, and they could be found on the city's website under tonight's agenda. Are there any speakers? Is anybody here, would anybody here like to speak? Anybody on Zoom? All right, I will close the public speaking portion of the meeting. Is that a first? It might be a first. We're now entering into claims and communications. Hearing no discussion, they will be on file in the clerk's office. Can I get a motion to dispense with the second reading of the general bills and pay same? Motion by Rennie Scott Childress, second by Carl Frankel. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is adopted 8-0. We're now enter into the report of committees, starting with resolution number 102, please.
Resolution 102 of 2023. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing the mayor to submit an application to the U.S. Department of Transportation for a Safe Streets and Roads for All grant in the amount of $3,200,000 to construct facilities for pedestrians and bicyclists on Flatbush and Foxhall Avenues, and to execute any and all related documents.
On the question, Alderman Rennie Scott Childress.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd just like to point out to those folks who are watching or who are witnessing here in the hall that a number of these resolutions are merely approvals for applications. These are not amounts of money we are dedicated to spend, just requests for possible grants.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hearing no more discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 8-0. Moving to resolution 103, please.
Resolution 103 of 2023. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing the mayor to submit an application to the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation Heritage Area Program in the amount of $500,000 for the Kingston Neighborhood Skate Park project, and to execute any and all related documents.
On the question, hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 8-0. Moving to resolution 104, please.
Resolution 104 of 2023. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, requesting to utilize fund balance to pay off $1,108,500 in equipment and similar items previously authorized for bonding.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 8-0. Moving to Resolution 105, please.
Resolution 105 of 2023, resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing the mayor to submit an application to the New York State Department of State for an Environmental Protection Fund Local Waterfront Revitalization Program grant in the amount of $552,500 for the Kingston Point Wetland Restoration Kayak Dock Project and to execute any and all related documents.
On the question? Alderman Steve Shabbat.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to say what a great idea this is. I think it really took some vision, to look at what is down there right now and come up with an idea like this, to put this property in use. It has been literally in decay for decades. It's basically unlivable down there. I think this is really going to enhance what we're doing with the trails and our entire recreation system as a whole. I think this is going to be great. There's a couple of things on the agenda tonight I'm really excited about. This is one of them, and I'm happy to say I'm in full support of this.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hearing no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 8-0. Moving to Resolution 106, please.
Resolution 106 of 2023, resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing the mayor to submit an application to the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation for a 2023 Climate Smart Communities grant in the amount of $1,200,000 for the Kingston Organics Program Phase 2 and 3 implementation project and to execute any and all related documents.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is adopted 8-0. Moving to Resolution 107, please.
Resolution 107 of 2023, resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, approving the transfer of $1,201,332.15 to reflect utilization of Washington Avenue tunnel litigation proceeds to pay down related debt.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 8-0. Moving to Resolution 108, please.
Resolution 108 of 2023, resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, endorsing support for the Center of Photography at Woodstock, Incorporated, for a grant from the Housing Trust Fund Corporation administered by the New York State Homes and Community Renewal for New York State Main Street Program.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 8-0. Moving to Resolution 109, please.
Resolution 109 of 2023, resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, amending the fee schedule to include an increase in the dog boarding and dog redemption fees.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is adopted 8-0. Moving to Resolution 110, please.
Resolution 110 of 2023, resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, requesting bonding authorization in the amount of $6,500,000 for repair and replacement of sanitary sewers on Prospect Street.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 8-0. Moving to Resolution 111, which is a bond ordinance, so I'll ask for a long roll.
Resolution 111 of 2023, a bond ordinance dated July 11th, 2023, an ordinance authorizing financing of sanitary sewer reconstruction and replacement on Prospect Street in and for the City of Kingston, Ulster County, New York, at a maximum estimated cost of $6,500,000 and authorizing the issuance of up to $6,500,000 bond of said city to pay costs thereof. Alderman Oliveri,
Yes.
Alderman Shabbat,
Yes.
Alderman Hirsch, Alderman Frankel.
Yes.
Alderman Scott Childress.
Yes.
Alderman Worthington. Alderman Muhammad. Alderman Dennison.
Bond is adopted 8-0. Moving to Resolution 112, please.
Resolution 112 of 2023. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing adopting an additional bond ordinance in the sum of $7,300,000 for various improvements at Dietz Stadium.
On the question? Steve Shabbat first, and then Rennie Scott Childress.
Thank you, Madam President. And this is the other one. Although I have to admit, I'm much more excited about this project. It seems like I've been waiting my whole life for this to happen. I can remember times when I was a kid, the stadium was a work of art. I mean, it was the hub of the city. We had so much going on there. We had people such as Babe Ruth come to town to go to the stadium. I mean, it was a draw, and it was something the city could be proud of. Recently, however, it has fallen into so much disrepair. I mean, it's really so sad if you go up and see it. And as the shape it's in, people still use it continuously, day and night. So this just does my heart so much good to see what's going to happen with this place. It does stick in my throat a little voting for this much money for it, but I would really like to see this be put back on the map again, be back as one of the city's treasures, one of our centerpieces. I think it's going to draw substantial revenue in the future with the improvements. And I know this has been a team effort, but I would like to single out Jack Schoonmaker. He did such a thorough job last night at caucus explaining all the improvements and, you know, why the cost overruns. I appreciate being able to sit there and just listen to somebody give you all the details to help you through the voting process. The improvements, we can't even begin to list them all. There's so many improvements going to take place up there. New bathroom, new grandstands, new ADA compliant ramps, you name it. It's going to be state of the art, and I'm really excited for this project. And I'm happy to say I've been in full support of this, and I remain in full support of it.
Thank you. Alderman Rennie Scott Childress.
Said it all.
All right, just say ditto. Do you want to say anything? No. Okay. Anybody else on the question? Hearing no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is adopted 7-1. The dissent is Michael Oliveri. Moving to the bond or resolution number 113, which is the bond ordinance. So I'll ask for a long roll.
Resolution 113 of 2023. Bond ordinance dated July 11th, 2023. An ordinance authorizing the issuance of an additional $7,300,000 bonds of the City of Kingston, Ulster County, New York, to pay costs in connection with various improvements at Dietz Stadium in and for said city. Alderman Shabbat. Alderman Hirsch. Alderman Frankel.
Yes.
Alderman Scott Childress.
Yes.
Alderman Worthington. Alderman Muhammad. Alderman Dennison. Alderman Oliveri.
Bond is adopted 7-1. Moving to resolution number 114, please.
Resolution 114 of 2023. An ordinance amending an ordinance in relation to the traffic on the public streets of the City of Kingston, New York, removing handicap parking on Hemlock Avenue.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is adopted 8-0. Moving to resolution number 115, please.
Resolution 115 of 2023. A memorializing resolution opposing the discharge of contaminated water from Indian Point into the Hudson River and urging Governor Hochul to sign into law the legislation amending environmental conservation law in relation to the discharge of any radiological agent into the waters of the state.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is adopted 8-0. Moving to resolution number 116, please.
Resolution 116 of 2023, an ordinance amending an ordinance in relation to the traffic on the public streets of the City of Kingston, New York, adding handicap parking on Elmendorf Street.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 8-0. Moving to Resolution 117, please.
Resolution 117 of 2023, resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, adopting Section 405.19 Affordable Housing Standards of the Kingston Forward Form-Based Code.
Ready, Scott Childress.
Madam President, I'd like to move that we table items, resolutions 117, 118, 119, and 121 as a block until our next regularly scheduled Common Council meeting.
There's a motion on the floor to table. Is there a second? Second by Bob Dennison. Any discussion? Then I'll call for the vote. All in favor to table 117, 118, 119, and 121 to the next regularly scheduled meeting.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, those 4 resolutions will be tabled. And just for folks listening, this is to make sure we're aligned with state law. It has to be at least 10 days after we pass Resolution 120. So we are moving then to Resolution 120, please.
Resolution 120 of 2023, resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, accepting a final generic environmental statement for the Kingston Forward citywide rezoning.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is adopted 8-0. Moving to Resolution 122.
Resolution 122 of 2023, resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing the removal of the sum of $5,200 vacant building fees from the 2023 general tax bill for 176 Broadway, SBL 56.35-3-20.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is adopted 8-0. Moving to Resolution 123, please.
Resolution 123 of 2023, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, prohibiting any shared mobility device systems as identified herein.
Alderwoman Rita Worthington. Sorry, second by Rennie Scott Childress. Any discussion? Then I'll call for the vote. All in favor to table or send this back to committee? All in favor? Opposed? Sent back to committee by a vote of 8-0. Moving then to the first reading of local law number 6.
Local Law 6 of 2023 of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing the amendment of Part 1 Administrative Legislation, Chapter 1 General Provisions by adding a section entitled Article 2 Conduct of Boards and Commissions.
That concludes our communications for the evening. Before I call for a motion to adjourn, does anybody have anything? Alderwoman Michelle Hirsch.
Thank you, Madam President. Tonight I'm closing in honor of Benjamin G. Brown, who is the son of former Ward 9 Alderwoman Deborah Brown and her husband Gerald Brown. Ben sadly and unexpectedly passed away on July 1st at the age of 46, where he lived in Winchester, Massachusetts with his wife Lisa and 2 daughters, Danny and Olivia. Ben was born in Schenectady but moved to Kingston with his family at the age of 5.5, and he graduated from Kingston High School in 1994 along with his future wife Lisa H. Fan Brown, who is also from Kingston. They went off together to attend Syracuse University. Benjamin then graduated magna cum laude with a Bachelor of Landscape Architecture degree from SUNY College of Environmental Science and Forestry at Syracuse University. Ben left an indelible mark on Kingston and Ulster County while he was working here for the as a designer with the firm of Hudson and Pacific Design. While with the firm, they were hired by the City of Kingston, and he was the designer of the original walkway along the Hudson River that was named Immigrants Walk at the time. He also designed the beautiful wrought iron archway that stands in front of the Ulster County Courthouse entrance on Wall Street. In 2004, Ben and Lisa started a landscape business together, which is a full-service landscape design and build company specializing in small urban landscapes for residential and commercial spaces. Ben was one of the most knowledgeable horticulturists and a master craftsman in both carpentry and hardscape. He was immensely talented and sought by clients. Along with his wife Lisa and daughters Danny and Olivia, Ben is survived by his parents, Gerald and Deborah Brown, his brother Brian Brown, and his wife Crystal Gordon, along with numerous cousins, aunts, and uncles. On behalf of Ward 9, I would like to offer my deepest condolences to the Brown family, and especially to his mother, Debbie Brown. Debbie was a beloved alderwoman and has been a good friend and mentor to me. Anyone that knows Debbie knows how much she loves and cherishes her sons and grandchildren. Our hearts are with them all during this time. Thank you.
Alderman Michael Oliveri.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm closing in memory of Louise Wheezy McGinnis. She was born in the Bronx, New York. She moved to Kingston as a young girl. She was a graduate of Kingston High School, class of 1962. She worked as a teacher's assistant and monitor within the Kingston School District for 26 years, retiring in 2010. She definitely loved people. And more of a personal note, when I was first campaigning, one day I decided to walk this particular route, and that was going to cover about 20 or 25 houses. And she was the fourth one on my list, and an hour and a half later, I was still on my fourth one on that list. After she graciously opened her door and we started talking, it was a matter of moments before we realized we were both born on Arthur Avenue in the Bronx, and that just formed an immediate bond and relationship, and we would trade trips down to the Bronx and bring each other loaves of bread every time one of us went down. She was definitely an inspiration. She was a voice to everyone who could hear her about voting for me, and she will be dearly missed, and she was someone I consider a friend. Thank you.
Alderwoman Rita Worthington.
President, yes, I'd like to close in memory and in honor of Willard E. Williams, Jr. He was 52 years old, and he passed away on June 14th, surrounded by many loved ones. We affectionately called Willard Foot, F-O-O-T. We went to school together, and he was very talented, charismatic man who had an infectious laugh and gave great hugs. He enjoyed writing and reciting poetry, cooking, and cutting hair. He was a jack of all trades, but most importantly, he mastered the gift of making people laugh. He was survived by his parents, Bertha Mae Williams and Willard E. Williams, Sr. of Kingston, family members, brothers and sisters, and sadly, again, we offer condolences to Alderwoman Naima Muhammad, as this was a family member, and in the last couple of months, her family has suffered great loss. And so our deepest condolences to you and to this family. Thank you.
Anyone else? I will take a motion to adjourn. Motion by Michael Oliveri. Sorry, I was just really sad by all that. So my deepest condolences to everybody, Naima. Do I hear a motion to adjourn by Michael Oliveri? Second. Carl Frankel. All in favor? Opposed? We hereby stand adjourned until the next regularly scheduled meeting on August 1st, 2023 at 7:30 p.m.